All right, I'm excited to welcome you to JavaScript land. This is the beginning of the rest of your developer life. But really, this is a big milestone, getting to JavaScript. It's going to take time and practice, and you'll probably get frustrated. But once you get through JavaScript, the world of possibilities, the things that you can do, just expands drastically. HTML and CSS are great, but on their own, you're kind of limited to making static websites, maybe some animations or a hover effect or something. You can display information, and you can make it look nice. But with JavaScript, we can do so much more. So keep in mind that it's absolutely worth learning. This is a big turning point in the course. We'll use JavaScript from here on out, but also JavaScript requires more attention and practice and time to truly master. So don't get frustrated. I'll say that a lot. Compared to learning CSS or HTML, where it's kind of like painting by numbers, if you want to put an image somewhere or an H1, it's pretty much always the same. You might change the text or the image source, but it's just this simple process. JavaScript is a lot more logic heavy. It is a lot more creative in some ways. There are many different ways of achieving the same end result. And so it's not as cut and dry as just put an H1 or make this thing red. We have a lot of options. Okay, so just to recap the sort of intro to these three tools, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are the three main tools that your browser can understand and do something with. So when we request a web page, google.com/search, and we're looking for chickens, we're searching chickens, there's an HTTP request that is sent to Google servers. Eventually it makes it to, hopefully, one of Google's servers. Google's server is going to parse what I'm asking for, go and do all the hard work to find chicken search results. It builds the web page for me, and that web page consists of HTML and CSS and JavaScript. It's sent back to my browser, and my browser can render that for me. So JavaScript, so returning to this grammatical analogy where we have HTML as the nouns, CSS is the adjectives, JavaScript is the action, the verbs, the stuff that happens on our web page. So I'll show you a couple of examples of what JavaScript can be used for. So I'm going to start with some simpler stuff and then we'll work up. So here's an example. This is a code pen for an Africa map quiz. I didn't choose it because it's particularly amazing. Well, to be clear, it's not bad or horrible or anything. I'm just not picking it to impress you. I'm picking it just to show you a simple example of what we can do. So this is, let's see, Africa map quiz. It's interactive. We've got a map over here. We could make that with HTML and CSS, or it might just be an image. I didn't even look. And then we've got a button to start the quiz. And now this thing just appeared. Now there's a timer over here, and the instructions aren't very good, but I think I'm supposed to, let's see. So I type countries. Yeah. So as I'm typing, right, it's showing me if I get one or if I don't. So let's pick something that's not in Africa, like France. Okay. Nothing happens. It's not recognized. That's all done with JavaScript. There's logic, right? When I hit enter. So let's do another country in here. How about Tanzania? There we go. It's recognizing as I hit enter. I think if I hit enter, it might just recognize it as I type it. It figures out if it's valid or not. It shows the correct outline of the map, or it colors it in. It gives me a score. All of that stuff is happening dynamically on the page. Here's another example. This is more just a nice user interface. JavaScript is used to animate this plane as I scroll and to change its orientation and to add some nice effects. So as I scroll here, right, it comes into view, it rotates basically in 3 dimensions, then it moves around. It's pretty fancy as I scroll. Ooh, look at that. That is nice. That's pretty cool. So all of this is done with JavaScript. Without JavaScript, we would still have the basic elements on the page. Ooh, that's pretty cool, honestly. I like this. I never got to the end on my own. Without JavaScript, I can turn it off here or just comment it all out. Let's take a look at what we end up with. We've got the content here, right? But we don't have any of that fancy scrolling effect. We don't have things showing and hiding and moving around as much. And my scroll is scrolling the page, but I'm not actually moving stuff. Or I'm not causing animations. I'm not interacting with anything. Versus when JavaScript's there, when it's actually activated, I might have to refresh on this code pen. Now I scroll, right? I'm not just scrolling the content. I'm actually affecting a change. So it's pretty cool stuff. Here are some more examples. This is just, I've never used this site, but I searched for stock market live updating, and here we go. Hopefully not, well, might be somewhat depressing, but we've got these stock market numbers that I think the market's definitely close. But we've got these charts that are updating on the right side. It's just changing on its own. I'm not actually doing anything. You'll see that it just changes. Watch these numbers here. These will update. And then as I select, let's go to Asia, we should be able to see, I think the Asian markets are open right now. Things are actually updating live. The charts should be changing. This is all happening with JavaScript. So we can make this content, we can change the color, we could show a graph even, really without much JavaScript at all. But then to update things while the page is still here, it hasn't refreshed, hasn't reloaded, to get new information, new data, and update what I see, that's done with JavaScript. Here's another example, Netflix, right? I can click around, I can play something. That's all done with JavaScript. I can select different seasons. BoJack's a great show, by the way. Don't let the animation turn you away if you're not a big animation fan. I can select something, I can move through all the different categories, different menus here. This is all done with JavaScript and HTML and CSS, of course. Here's a much more complicated example. Instacart, one of the options for getting groceries delivered from different stores, very JavaScript heavy. You'll notice that the page actually never refreshes. I'm never getting new content. We have the ability to add items to our cart and to remove items from our cart. Let's add some, how about some lemonade here? I'll add that to my cart and you'll see this thing appears out of nowhere. I can open up my cart and here's my cart. I have a couple of items in here. I can edit them, right? I can delete that. I can change the quantity. I can check out. All of this is very JavaScript heavy. The page is doing things. I'm interacting with it. Here's another example. This is a website for getting glasses made, ordering them. You can order them online. This is not an ad. But what I want to show you, the live chat over here. This is powered by JavaScript. I don't want to do it, but I could type here, right, and hit enter, and I will get a response. Now, that response is not necessarily just from JavaScript. There is a person on the other end eventually, but the fact that I have this window that appears, I can close it. I can, make it pop out. I can hit enter and a message will be sent. Ooh, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm wasting someone's time. Oh, no. Oh, somebody joined the chat. Okay, I got to get out of here. I can't handle this. Long story short, JavaScript does a lot of stuff for us, ranging from relatively simple, creating a timer. Ooh, what is this? This is a different version of this game. Oh, cool. This lets me just inspect, click around, and see information about each country. So this is all JavaScript, right? Simple enough stuff, nice animations and UI effects, up to charts and graphs that update live, creating really complex UIs like Instacart, live chats. So hopefully you're excited to get started. Just remember that it takes a decent amount of work up front, and we can't really dive into this crazy stuff right away. It takes time and practice to get there. So hang in there. Let's start JavaScript.